My guest market monitor this week is Mark Leibovit, Chief Market Strategist for VRTrader.com. Welcome back to Nightly Business Report, Mark.
Thank you, Paul. Glad to be back.
You know, I always enjoy it when I can compliment a returning market monitor guest on making some very accurate predictions during his previous appearance, and that's certainly the case with you. On your last visit in late October with the Dow at 12,100, you projected the bull market would get to at least 13,600, and sure enough, earlier this week it got to that very level. A great call, Mark. I compliment you.
Thank you, Paul.
And where do we go from here?
Well, a lot of factors have come into play, and some of those factors might be changing here. We've had a carry trade financing out of Japan where you can borrow money at 0.5%, and a lot of stocks have been purchased around the world, merger and acquisition activity, company buybacks, a weak yuan in China, which has helped the exports for China. But bottom line is right now we have an issue with tariffs. The Congress may be looking to impose tariffs on China, or they're pressuring China to raise the yuan. Either one of those happens, we could see a setback here in the market, and these factors have not been affecting the market up to this point, and we had a stable situation. So as long as these factors don't change, I think there may be a change ahead, but if they don't change right away, then this market will continue higher. My fear is over the next several weeks you might see a retracement because of talk of these changes.
I see. Okay, so we're vulnerable here at this level.
A little vulnerable at this level. I'm not telling you to sell stocks here, but I'd be looking to buy pullbacks.
Okay. And how vulnerable are we in terms of, let's say, the Dow? 300-400 points?
13,160 is one number I come up with, and then if we get there, we'll reevaluate. I'm not saying it's going there tomorrow, but it might be there in 6 weeks, so let's watch it carefully.
For some time now, you've recommended commodities, including oil, the basic metals, and especially gold, which you think will get to the 3,000 per ounce level. Any change in that?
Nothing on the big picture forecast, but short term here with the same retracement in stocks, you're starting to see it already in the metals because of that perception there might be tariffs or other things imposed. You're already seeing a little weakness in the metals here, but that's a trading comment, not a big picture comment.
Okay, in October you had 4 buy recommendations for our viewers. We'll see now how they've done since then. Geron Corporation up 17.7%. Good call there. Still like it?
Yes, still like all the stem cell stocks. They're still going to have their day in the sun.
Gas Resources up just 0.5%. Still with that?
Yes, I like energy. I still think oil and natural gas can move higher here. They're still very depressed.
All right, and let's have the United States Oil Fund. That's down 8.3%, but you still like it apparently.
I still like oil, yes.
And there was another one that you recommended called Eurozinc Mining, but it was taken over, so we don't have a chart. And it was taken over at a lower price than you recommended it, but you're not with that, obviously.
Yeah, we're out because of the merger, but it was a copper zinc play, and that's why we recommended, and those are still good markets going forward. Okay,
well, you have 6 new recommendations, I understand, and we only have a minute left, so we're going to have to really move through these quickly. But let's start with the first one.
First one is CAF, and this is the ETF for the Shanghai stock market. I wouldn't be chasing it here, but in a pullback down to the low 30s or high 20s, that would be a buyer.
Okay.
The next one is Yum Brands, YUM. I think the stock is headed into the mid 70s, but again, I like to buy this on a pullback in the low 60s.
Okay.
The next one is SNP, which is China Petro. This is a China petroleum play. Again, it's a big stock, very expensive. I think it's going 115, but we have to try to buy it closer to the 90, 95 area on a retracement.
Very well.
Next one is PHO, which is Power Shares Water Resources. This is a play on water. It's an ETF. Looking to buy it around 18.5. I think it's headed to about 23. Next one is the Dow Diamonds themselves, the Dow Industrials. If we get a setback to that 13,160 I mentioned before, I would buy it because my next Dow target is 13.8 and then 14,100. So
one more
to buy that on a pullback. Last one, Apple Computer, headed to 120, 130. Let's see if we can buy it around 100 on a retracement.
Okay, so these are on your shopping list, but don't go to the market yet.
I wouldn't chase them here.
Okay.
No,
do you personally own any of these securities?
I do not own them personally. They are listed in my newsletter, though.
Our time has run out, Mark, but thanks for being with us once again.
Thanks for having me back.
My guest, Mark Leibovit of VRTrader.com.